on YouTube? Welcome back to Living Life Fast. I told you the next video would have been the car being serviced. I've actually booked the car in for its service. That will be in the next couple of days, so bear with me. I've got bloody police behind me. Sorry about that. I'm quite keen to start off this M3 project. Really can't wait. One thing I noticed in the comments is so many people were like really positive about me getting the E92. I mean, the E92 M3 was a really special car, and it still is a special car. The reason why it's so special is because of its engine. Like, you know, obviously the new M5s and, you know, a lot of these other new sports cars have got twin turbo V8s, but this was a naturally aspirated V8. So, you know, you get a beautiful sounding engine. It was really low on torque, which was one of the biggest problems with this engine. But in my opinion, with it having such low torque, it just made for a much more balanced car, a much more manageable car on the limit. A lot of owners of these cars in the past have been annoyed because you will find little hatchbacks with similar torque being able to keep up low end. Obviously nowadays a bit different, they're all forward drive, over 300 bhp, so not only was the engine great, the steering feel from this car was really good as well. With this car compared to the F80, what I've noticed straight away is that the power doesn't jump at you. Like, it's not like a big surge of power or a big surge of torque. It's like I can flatten this throttle and it's just so smooth still. Like with the F80, like it was still had a smooth throttle, but you'd have to be so much more careful. I think it's only between like 80 to 100 kg heavier than the F80 this car is. You do notice that weight. It does physically feel like a much bigger car as well. In fact, I was actually driving the E36 M3. I was just shocked at like how well it drove. It's unbelievable. Like, I used to own an E36 M3. I didn't think it was gonna, I just thought it was gonna feel like a really old car. When I got in it, guys, it's ridiculous how small the car is. So, you know, the E36 from the E30, it was like a really big heavy car. Even when the E46 was out, the E36 was quite a big car, but after driving like this E92 and even the F80, man, it's tiny. It's like the dash is here. Like, you put your hand here and it's here. You're touching the window, it's here. And it's really low down to the ground as well. It literally feels like you're in a go-kart. It's crazy. I can't wait to show you guys what that car is like. Love the sound of this car. I mean, have a listen, guys. I put it in M mode, put it into like, listen to the sound, guys. It's fucking ridiculous. It's had a mod done to the exhaust, so it sounds even better. Night and day compared to the F80. It's only when you take it to its extreme that you notice that it hasn't got the same grip. And it just, yeah, what's that revving to? Yeah, about 8,400 RPM. It's crazy, guys, trust me. It becomes beyond driving dynamics. Although this car is fucking epic on the limit, it's beyond it. It's this engine, man, listen to it. It's crazy. This is one thing, guys, petrol, like the petrol lights just come up, and yeah, petrol is not it's ridiculous. I would say that it's worse than my GTR. I don't know, man, because the GTR was horrible on juice, but it's actually why I haven't drove the car that much, because it's I don't know why it's so bad. And it's actually partly the reason why I've actually put the car in to get it serviced. It's like the needle just falls over. It just falls over itself. It just drops and drops and drops. Something I've mentioned in the comment section as well is that when I'm driving this car on its limit, or close to its limit, it almost feels like the inside rear wheel is like kind of buckling in on itself. It's buckling, like, so it feels like if I was to carry on accelerating as it's doing that, it would feel like it would just do a 180. This car, I mean, when you start tearing it, it will plow just a touch, like before the back starts to go. It won't just jump into a power slide, which is great. I haven't tried drifting it. I spun it a little bit when I actually bought it the same day, but you've got to really commit to it now. So like with dual clutch transmission, you can't just dip the clutch like you would in a manual. With this now, I've got to fully commit and throw the car out. I really love a dual clutch transmission. It's so on point in this car as well. Man, listen to the sound, guys. It's just ridiculous. Wow. Sorry as well, guys, I've not set up no GoPros or anything. I noticed that whenever you go over like little bumps in the road, it almost drags the car, it pulls the car in. The F80 didn't used to do that. Man, this car is just, yeah. You feel it, you feel it's not as settled, like nothing's being hidden from this car as you drive it. You drive it fast. Like the F80 masks a lot of things well, which is what some people probably don't like, because it makes everything feel that little bit more numb. I am going to update the software, because I know you get the GTS software in this car. That's something that I'm definitely going to... Wow, man, it's like I'm driving a racing car, guys. Somebody commented saying, oh, you know, why didn't you get it in a manual? You know, I was considering the manual, because obviously it is for... The main reason for this car is because I want to take it on track and stuff like that, but I feel that this car needs every advantage it can, and like the DCT in this car, it really does need it. And not just that it needs it, it works really well with this car. You can lace the throttle in this car in corners and it won't lose it, because the power is so smooth and it builds power at a higher RPM. So this is actually similar to the Carrera S as well that I drove. Guys, this E92 M3, it was so ahead of its time when it first came out. If you look at its competition at the time, like the C63, the RS4, it was light years ahead. I mean, like a lap on a track, it was like 4 or 5 seconds quicker. You know, 4 or 5 seconds probably a bit over the top. Let's say 2-3 seconds. You know, 2-3 seconds is like massive. If you look at today, the F80 now with its competition, you'll notice it is not 2-3 seconds quicker than its competition. In some cases, the C63 is actually turning out to be quicker. Overall, the M3 is still the quickest, but now all of the Americans, it's like, you know, I haven't really gone into too much research, but I know that the Americans are becoming really quick cars now, and it's like, it's crazy, you know? Also, another comment that kept coming up was, am I going to supercharge the car? And to be honest with you, it's not that, I'm not saying no, I'm not going to supercharge it, but it definitely isn't a priority of this car at the moment. The number one priority for this car is making this car safe. So, and I'm not going to jump on track thinking I'm Superman, do you know what I mean? I know we all think we're Lewis Hamilton, but I'm going to, you know, I'm in no rush, do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm hitting track day once and then I'm not going back. So yeah, I will be hitting a bit of tuition, get somebody to show me, you know, around on the track. Gearbox in these cars, apparently they can overheat on track, so they're things I want to look into, making this car safe. We want to be able to hammer this car on track and know it's really safe to do so, do you know what I mean? Which means brakes is obviously going to be another thing. The brakes are going to need to be exchanged, you know what I mean? Get some AP discs and calipers, or Brembo, Stop Tech, I don't know, we're going to find out. Suspension, you know, we've got KW Club Sport. We got, I think you got Intrax, you got, what else you got? You got IBAC suspension, you got loads of companies. I'm not just chasing power, and also putting a supercharger in the car is only going to create heat. It's another thing that I'm going to have to worry about. Like, I want this car to, I want to know I can just hammer this on track and just drive home and not worry about anything. I just want to know I've got to change brake pads and maybe oils, and that's it. I mean, I was considering the E46 M3. I know a lot of you guys are annoyed that I didn't pick the E46, but the only problem with the E46 was it's really underpowered, and you know, I don't really want to go down the supercharging route. The gear shifts are so the gear shifts really thump you in the back. Apparently the GTS software was smoothing that out. I mean, that definitely feels a bit more, boy. See, it sort of did what I was saying then, it sort of slid from underneath me. Yeah, I think it could possibly be tyres. Maybe I need a nice set of tyres. I don't think this car's got much tread on the tyres at the moment, but that reminded me of the M235i then. Like, obviously the M235i has no limited slip diff, but when you go too fast into the corner, the car would just slide from underneath you, but there was no progression to it. You would only notice it had slid when you was basically going sideways. In the F80 it was like, let me take it right here. In the F80, you had loads of warning that the car was going, do you know what I mean? Loads of warning. But the M235i, it was kind of scary because it was only once it was in a slide you'd known that the car was going to go. It was just, there was no feeling whatsoever. There's no progression to it going into a slide. Could be tyres. People saying about the tyre wall. It could be things like that. A lot of things that I want to chat to people that know about these cars. Already had a lot of people message me and comment about you know, recommending certain mods. We will go into these things. Guys, that's the end of the video. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help with getting the channel more views and more exposure. And also, if you want to stay up to date with Living Life Fast, consider subscribing. So if you subscribe, you'll be notified every time I release a new video. So we'll leave it as that. And like I said, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next couple of days.